Are you frustrated by the same issues that keep resurfacing again and again? By understanding the 5 main differences between conflict resolution and conflict transformation, you'll know when to apply each of these strategies, creating longer lasting and more efficient change.
Hi, I'm Jeanette Bourgeot,
And I'm Crystal Brown.
and we're a mother-daughter mediation team. And our Korero Solutions channel is dedicated to helping you become the leader that you and your organization deserve.
For the latest tips, tools, and advice, make sure to hit that notification bell so that you know as soon as we release more content. Let's get started. All right, so let's break them down. We have conflict resolution and conflict transformation. Now, these two can very easily be swapped out for one another when people don't have a full understanding of what they actually mean. So let's get into it and really understand what the difference is. So our first difference is the priority. With conflict resolution, the outcome is truly the priority. You came there, you're here to discuss something, let's figure it out and move on. So really, it's all about the end result.
And the transformation model looks at the relationship and going forward, building something that's long-lasting, building something that will sustain the length of time. So looking at not just what is the solution for today, but what's the solution for tomorrow.
The second is the depth of the understanding. With resolution, it's really about understanding the facts as they pertain to the current situation at hand. You don't want to get into all of the nitty-gritty. What you really want is to figure out what are we here to discuss and what are the facts? What are the hard evidence and what specifically pertains to the issue that we're here to discuss today?
The transformative method looks at actually digging a little bit deeper. So whether you use the analogy of the peeling back the onion or you're looking at the iceberg, that sometimes if you just take a quick glance at it, you just see the very tip of the iceberg. It's what's sitting under the water that actually will give you the full understanding of why something happened or why someone did something the way they did. So looking at building that extended understanding, looking at it, exploring some empathy aspects, and truly understanding what's underneath the whole situation.
The third difference is the commitment level. So when you're in conflict resolution, typically you're just there for the current situation. So your commitment level is pretty short term. You want to get in, you want to figure things out, and you want to move on and deal with something new. This is just a little tiny piece of your world, so let's get in, let's figure it out, and let's move on.
And the transformative method is looking at the long-term picture. How does what we decide today going to impact us not just today, but tomorrow, a year down the road, 5 years down the road? So looking at what are some of the long-term ideas, solutions, requirements coming out of this agreement.
Our fourth difference that we're going to cover is focus. Really, when it comes to conflict resolution, the focus is on the short term. The focus is on today and figuring it out. We want to get in, get messy, get all of the stuff out, deal with it today so that you can move on to your next project, your next challenge, your next obstacle. Like, let's just get in, let's get dirty, figure it out, and then done. I'm done with it after we walk out of this conversation.
And the transformative method of looking at what is the focus is more on the future and the long term. So the long-term relationship, the long-term results, the long-term impact that this decision is going to have to make. So not only looking at how does it affect us today, but how is it going to affect us going forward?
Now, we do have one warning, but we want to get into this last right away here, which is how much time does this take? And these two processes take very different amounts of time, especially depending on what the situation is. So with conflict resolution, typically it's looked at as a much shorter process. Now, this doesn't mean that you are in and out within 10 minutes. It could, typically not, though, especially if the issue is longer. But it is known to be a quicker issue, and that just has to do with you're dealing with one problem, you're dealing with just the facts that are there, just the facts that are presented in order to come up with whatever that resolution is.
And the conflict transformation portion, does it take longer? Yes, because we're not just looking at the tip of the iceberg. We're being curious, we're building an understanding, we're building relationships. So I'm not saying it's going to take hours and hours of, upon hours, but it does take longer than getting in, looking at the current issue and what will currently resolve that situation. We're looking at beyond that. So does it take a bit more time? Yes, but the time that you invest will be time well spent, and it will benefit you in gaining a full understanding of why you're making the decision you are today.
And it really goes into what the situation is that you're dealing with.
Yeah.
If this is something that's been going on and this is a pervasive issue and there's a lot of people involved, it's going to take longer than something that's just between two people and they need to gain an understanding. This can be between companies, this can be between individuals, this can be between countries. So depending on what level you want to get into and how big and systemic the issue is, this can go from anywhere from a few hours to years of conversations. So it's not just about, hey, let's get in and resolve this. This is really about growing that relationship. Sometimes we find that people use one of these styles when the other would have been more appropriate. Let us know in the comments below if this has ever happened to you. All right, guys, you stuck through it. Here's our one warning.
Don't assume that one or the other of these styles is the appropriate style to use in every one of your situations. Get familiar with both styles, because you may use the conflict resolution style to try to hopefully resolve this situation, and then you'll find it comes back again, or people are not feeling heard. Something happens that doesn't make this a success. There's more information that needs to be sought. So just be open to both of the processes. If you're looking at changing a process or changing the way a team approaches something, and you do use the resolution process, and it's not successful, or you hear a lot of grumbling after, you may have to go back and go into the transformative.
For more tools to help you navigate conflict in the workplace, check out some of the links in our description below and hit that notification and subscription so that you can be the first to know when we release our new content.
Remember to do something today that's going to change your tomorrow.
Until next time. What is the long... All right. Again and again and again. Today we're going to look at the 5 different... Nope.